And I truly believe that with everything that happened with the global pandemic in 2020, the major silver lining was that it created sort of the perfect storm around customer retention and why organizations could no longer see retention as sort of something that was just the responsibility of a customer success organization.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Customer Marketing Summit. So we've got another fantastic session for you here now. We are welcoming Kevin Lau from Adobe.
Thank you so much, Rose, and thank you for the opportunity to present today on a topic that I'm super passionate about. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about why customer retention is the new growth, how advocacy and adoption can help accelerate your business. My name is Kevin Lau. I'm the Global Head of Customer Advocacy at Adobe for Adobe's digital experience business. So to kick off some of the slides and some of the information, a little bit about myself. I've been at Adobe now for a little bit over 4 years. I've been in the industry for a little bit more than 11, running customer programs for different organizations. And as you can kind of see from this slide, I'm also super passionate about all things Comic-Con, collectibles, etc. And it's completely fine to be a man-child and play with toys, even if you're an adult. So now that we got through some of that stuff, I want to talk specifically about what I want to give you guys as far as an agenda and takeaways from this session. I really want to talk a little bit more about, especially if you're trying to expand your remit within customer marketing, or you're looking to build out this function within your company or devote more resources and things like that, how to actually build a scalable customer program that drives results. How to ultimately build internal alignment, especially with your executive stakeholders, which I think is paramount and key to give you any type of really support and success long-term. And then also how to create a set customer marketing success framework, something that encompasses your values, what you stand for, ultimately what is it that you care about, and what things that other teams will do that they specialize in. And then also a tried and tested customer marketing blueprint that we've implemented, that I've implemented other companies, and through a lot of the learnings and the pitfalls that we've experienced over the past couple of years. And then ultimately how to measure program ROI so that you can really have a seat at the table and be able to get more budget, more resources, more headcount, et cetera. So it's a tall order. We have roughly about 20, 30 minutes together. And hopefully this will be something that that provides some value to yourselves. To level set, I want to talk a little bit about what Lisa Nakano said last year from Serious Decisions or now Forrester, where she really said that 2021 is the year of the customer marketer. And I truly believe that with everything that happened with the global pandemic in 2020, the major silver lining was that it created sort of the perfect storm around customer retention and why organizations could no longer see retention as sort of something that was just the responsibility of a customer success organization or something they kind of took for granted. And they just kind of assumed that customers would inherently continue to pay for their subscriptions, especially if you're a SaaS business. And so I think this really put front and center the elevated importance of customer marketers, line in line with what demand marketers have been doing for probably the past 20, 30 years. And historically, most of those budgets have always gone to demand teams, but we started to see the shift and the renewed focus around customer marketing and retention as sort of the key foundation for helping organizations be successful and really survive, especially in this virtual environment that we're in today. And so at the end of the day, what does it mean to actually create exceptional customer experiences that will ultimately help impact the customer journey at the end of the day? And what are the things that you could actually action to help drive that? And so I kind of boiled it down to sort of what I think of as sort of the magic three. And these are sort of the foundational elements when you're starting to think about a customer marketing function, or you're trying to think about how do you continue to reimagine or up-level your programs, some of the things that you may already be doing today. But the first one, which I think is foundational, is you need to engage your diehard customers. So these are the folks that are super passionate about your product, that they tout their experience and they showcase why it's important to them and how it's ultimately helped impact their career. In our particular example, when I joined Marketo back before we even were acquired by Adobe, I was talking to the folks that we call our Marketo Engaged Champions. Now, this is a program that has existed now for about 10 plus years. And essentially, these are the folks that, as you can see, have drank the Kool-Aid or the purple Kool-Aid. They're super passionate. They wear purple. Immediately, the first thing that came out of their mouths was that they bleed purple. And as you can see, they are sort of our expert practitioners that know the product inside and out. And they also tout it across their digital channels and their profiles as sort of a badge of honor. So as you can see, from Jenny Robertson to some of these other folks, to be labeled as a Marketo champion is truly a career-defining moment that has helped them with increasing their salaries, help them to get new promotions, etc. And so we tapped into this audience to figure out exactly how could we better serve you? How could we build the relationships? How could we create programs at scale with the customer at the end of the day that is really going to help them be successful and give them the tools and the resources to continue to innovate with Marketo as well as our other products and solutions that we're running. And so that was the first foundational piece to help unlock sort of the potential around the value that customer marketing brought to the table in our company and organization. The second thing, which is also just as critical and important, is building executive alignment early and often. And I think this is often one of the things that is sometimes overlooked because it seems so obvious, but especially if you work at a startup company, you work at an enterprise organization, there's always political change. There's always new people joining, people leaving. And so being able to build that alignment early and often is critical to your own success. And I've kind of boiled it down to sort of these 4 things that you want to think about, especially as you're engaging new leadership and especially if you're trying to get your name out there. And when we went through this acquisition process from Marketo to Adobe, we went from roughly about 1,500 employees to over 20,000. And so the scale of magnitude to be able to make an impression, be able to engage that audience became even more critical, especially when you work in a matrixed organization like Adobe. And so what it began with is looking at what are some of the shared goals and responsibilities that customer retention will have for the broader organization, the company. And so things about, how can you influence customer experience? Well, that's really not just one team or one mission's responsibility. It goes through both marketing, sales, customer success, support, to really influence what does that customer journey look like and how can you create magic moments for those customers so they want to continue to do business with you. The second thing that's also super critical and important is about over communicating frequently. Even if you have something that doesn't seem that important, I guarantee you, as you can start to get more face time, whether it's in their team meetings or email updates or newsletters or whatnot, if you can get more face time and visibility to your leadership, and they can start to see the programs, the work that you're doing collaboratively across the organization, this is when it starts to become more top of mind for them. The third thing is give credit along the way. And these are folks that, whether it's your executive stakeholders, some of their lieutenants, the folks that are really leaning into your programs and investing the time and resources and saying that, hey, this is important enough for the company to really rally behind, those are the ones that you want to continue to build those strong relationships with. And then the fourth one is being able to share results on a regular basis. So this goes hand in hand with all the other 3 elements, but it's really about showing them the success or the progression that you're making over time. And it doesn't have to be, huge inroads that you're influencing, tens of millions of dollars necessarily. It could be some of the foundational things that are helping to pave the way for some of your future programs and some of your expansion work that you're really focused on to help drive retention and renewed interest around how to protect your customers long term. And so with those 2 foundational elements around engaging your stakeholders internally and then talking to your diehard customer fans, the third one, which is also critical, and I think of it as sort of like a 3-legged stool, is about how do you actually build a customer marketing success framework.